Mr. Speaker, I stand to oppose this constitutional amendment bill. And Mr. Speaker, my opposition for this constitutional amendment bill is very clear. It starts with, Mr. Speaker, the basics. And the basics for me is the understanding of the popular initiative process of constitutional amendment. Mr. Speaker, there is a reason why there are various processes of amending the Constitution. One is through Parliament and the other is through popular initiative. Popular initiative, from the tautological understanding of our Constitution making, the 2010 Constitution, and if you read the history, the Yash Palgai Commission report, the Constitution Review Commission, which, Mr. Speaker, I had the privilege of working there for a short period of time, is that, Mr. Speaker, most of the Kenyans were saying, apart from the process of amending the Constitution through Parliament, where the executive and the legislature have a say, we need another process that a common mwananchi can propose for amending the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, why I am very skeptical of this process is because the process of establishing the BBI committee, Mr. Speaker, was not a constitutional review committee. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, in terms of composition of its membership and the structure of the appointment of BBI, it was meant to look at certain issues that are affecting the country, and particularly, we were told to go around the country and find mechanism of uniting the country. We are grateful that one of the members of BBI steering committee is seated here, Mr. Speaker, as a senator. And Mr. Speaker, I must confess that I am aware of how she ended up being in that very BBI committee, the senator of Machakos. And Mr. Speaker, all that process was not intended to amend the Constitution. Yes, Mr. Speaker, that's true. Mr. Speaker, the point to make, Mr. Speaker, here is that even if you go to the members of the committee, even Senator Haji was here and all others, the process was not intended to be a constitutional making body. But, Mr. Speaker, it mutated, and we must accept that perhaps the intenders of the establishment of the BBI committee knew what they were doing, but the rest of the country was not made aware of what was the objective of this BBI process. So we were told, Mr. Speaker, we do this, we go to unite the country, collect views. I am glad the chair of the Legal Affairs Committee has made it clear that even some of the proposals and the report captures on amending the constituencies, Mr. Speaker, was never, Mr. Speaker, proposed by anybody, anywhere across the country. That means, Mr. Speaker, this process was achieved through, Mr. Speaker, in my own opinion, deceit. The people of Kenya were deceived, Mr. Speaker, that this was a process intended in achieving a different objective, but those who had ulterior motives, Mr. Speaker, wanted to amend the Constitution. Why would people who have the institutions and a disposition of the institutions of Parliament and the executive go and use a process that was for common mwananchi, Mr. Speaker, to pass through, Mr. Speaker, these constitutional amendments? I believe, Mr. Speaker, popular initiative in this process has been misused. It's been captured by those who have powers of the state. It is going to be a terrible thing for us to sanitize this approach because, Mr. Speaker, I believe it will not, future presidents will not stop at the current president and those who are in power. Mr. Speaker, future presidents will be doing exactly the same to achieve, Mr. Speaker, what they would call and tell Kenyans it's a legacy. There is no legacy here, Mr. Speaker. This